Hello, folks. You're listening to WPVM 103.7 FM in Asheville. You can listen to us online at WPVMFM.org. I am Abby the Spoon Lady, and this is Busker Broadcast, and we are starting 1 hour early. And we brought in a wonderful special guest, Brett, and we are going to talk about busking. You want to introduce yourself?
Hello, how are you? My name is Brett RAMSEY. My outfit is called Roses in Amsterdam. And we're out busking today as a pair. My partner and I here painting and just trying to do a mix of visual with a little mixed media kind of deal going on. And I think it's pretty successful. We had a good day. We had a fun day.
Fun day.
Fun day.
What interesting kind of things happened?
Tough question. I'll defer.
All right. Well, I'm Kristen Larson, and I was painting Brett RAMSEY, and it was my first experience busking, so it was just great to be out and about and to work as a pair. And yeah, I
guess just the most interesting for me of the day was all the children that came up at once out of the store.
Oh,
and there's 20 kids at a time, just kind of like dancing around to what you're playing, and I've always found them just a great gauge of you not being terrible at what you're doing.
Yeah.
So if little kids like you,
I had them suggesting colors for a while, so that was fun.
You should take them up on it.
That is cool. That is cool. So, you said that you hadn't hardly come out busking in this pair before, which you were painting, and you were playing guitar. You were painting him as he played guitar.
Right. Right.
We've been roommates for a bit, and so we've been just we know that each other have whatever our art is, and we just never put them together. And I've never really seen other people downtown put them together too. So I just think it'd be a nice thing to try. Just send the day in a different direction,
including all forms of art. Yeah.
So you have been down busking before.
This is probably. I would say less than 10 times. That's probably about my 10th time. It's really hot down here. I sweat a lot. So.
It is really warm. It's getting hotter and hotter. Your first time, though, what were your thoughts about your very first time coming out busking?
I would say even after doing a lot of places, like playing in other venues, it still seemed like a nerve-wracking experience just to kind of get out there. Like when you're playing somewhere, you feel like that's where you're supposed to be because you've been asked to be there. And
right.
I almost feel like borderline intrusive sometimes, and I guess that's my own hang up. But
yeah, I always kind of tell people act like you own it.
Yeah.
Because this is your city.
I like that, if people are enjoying it, it makes it a lot easier. So as soon as, like I was saying, those kids, or as soon as anybody puts a couple bucks in the till, it feels nice. It feels nice again. So
right.
Makes it easier.
Are you planning on coming out again?
Definitely.
Yeah. I got fired from my job this morning, so I'm gonna keep on coming out here, and just.
That's a really awesome way to come out and celebrate that.
Today's the day.
I don't want to say celebrate because it's a positive way to do that.
It was less of a celebration, more of a therapy session. So we'll take a negative and we'll turn it into a nice day.
So do you live here in Asheville?
Yeah, I do.
How long have you lived in Asheville?
It's been about 17 months now.
And what about you?
I've been here for about 6 months, but I was back and forth between my last town and here, so technically only about 2 months full-time. So I just was trying to build up the courage to come out painting by myself, and then I was really grateful to have a musician to paint and work with, because I think that helps just in general, working together.
I think that you would find that a lot of performers wouldn't mind you being around.
Yeah. I think she's got a great draw with what she's doing. And it really just kind of, it drew my eye, the first time I saw her doing it, drew my eye to it. So
I'd love to continue painting more musicians
perhaps,
so yeah.
Do like a series, a busking series.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
You want to play us a tune?
Sure. Where would be ideal to be for this thing?
Oh,
Pull it
just
back
right where you're at. We just move the mics around.
Pull it back a little.
You singing?
Sure.
I want to put one up by you then.
Okay.
And I'll listen to the headphones, make sure we're straight.
How are we?
We're good.
It's all right. All right. All right. This is an original song. It's called Dusty Bottle. Searching for a story, hoping that these bones are off, find glory there. It's a long way down, but I can't stop now. I've got more pages to pen, to battle night. Fear I'm drowning for my book and even get bread. Drink from the same dusty bottle. I need something through this life. The friction lubricates my addiction. Just want something that's not nothing. That's not nothing. It's a long way down. I can't stop now. I've got more pages to pen.
That's great. Where do you get a lot of the inspiration for your tunes?
I don't know, man. What do people usually give for that answer?
Sometimes people say, oh, well, I think of them in the shower. And sometimes people say, oh, I learn most of what I'm learning from my friends.
There's so many people that I come across that are just they're these constant writers, you know, and I feel like I've gotten to this point where I'll pump out like a song once every couple months or something, and I just like thank God that I'm pumping out a song. So I don't know.
Does sometimes do the floodgates open and it's just like tons and tons of writing, and then sometimes it's not? It's kind of like that?
Yes. I feel like the answer is yes to that. And I'll get like this glorious 2 days of productivity, and then I rest on my laurels for a couple more months.
I do the same thing.
Okay. Cool.
I totally do the same thing.
Should I call Kristen out and say, Kristen doesn't paint every day? I've seen it. I've seen it. She doesn't paint every day.
I draw every day. I don't paint every day.
Okay.
I don't.
It's not about you. I don't want to
So
call me out.
I don't want to project my insecurities upon you.
Where are you born and raised?
I was born in Charleston, West Virginia. I was raised in Charlotte, North Carolina. That was the last place I lived for about 2-3 years before I came back out here. I was just doing this as a living, like playing, mainly just like small festivals and wine bars and country clubs and birthdays and just anything that I'd play a funeral if it wasn't so morbid of a thing to do. But
Somebody's got to do it.
You know, you gotta fill a niche market every now and then. So maybe that's my thing. I just don't know yet.
Well, do you have anything coming up? Anything booked coming up?
I will be playing this Wednesday at the Southern from about, I think it's 6 to 8. Well, I know it's 6 to 8. That's what I'm committing to it right now, 6 to 8. It's 6 to 8, and I'll just be out on that front porch kind of drawing people in.
Awesome.
Hopefully they find it pleasant and come in to enjoy it.
Yeah. Have you busked anywhere else other than Asheville?
I did it in San Francisco when I lived there. I found it to be, it's only a little more lucrative there solely because there's just people everywhere. You know, you just have this massive influx of people, which I guess you have here at certain times in certain corners, but.
Yeah, those of us who've been down here a long time doing it kind of know when and where.
Mm.
And so sometimes it makes it slightly competitive for those spots. But we attempt to communicate with each other the best we can. And, you know, and since the dawn of the Asheville Buskers Collective, communication has improved. So I'm hoping that continues.
Mm-hmm. That's what they gave me a pamphlet for when I was in the bookstore asking about it.
Yeah.
And they said, here's a pamphlet. Here's what you can do. So it's helpful to at least know that.
Well, busking here has been through a little bit of magnifying glass the last 8 months or so. But it looks like everything's looking up. No one's looking at permits or any kind of situations like that. And I hope not, because like here on Busker Broadcast, as we bring in people, it really puts to light that most of the people that are coming out and busking on the street actually don't live here. They don't live in the county. They aren't from here. Sure. Some of them are, like, I'll pull in some folks and is their first time busking here, maybe their last time busking here, and they will never be here again.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And it would be really sad for those people not to be able to play.
Yeah, it would just take the once.
Yeah,
it would just take that once.
So, and that being said,
would you consider us having to get permits to just be one more poor tax?
It would just completely squish the music scene here. It would just squish it. I mean, I first originally came in here into Asheville because I took the wrong freight train and landed here and.
Or the right freight train.
Yeah, maybe you're in the right boxcar at the right time.
But it just kind of goes to show that sometimes very, very interesting things will just kind of pop up unexpectedly.
Mm-hmm. That's what's great.
It's nice. I think we both figured out today we have to get out of the house for that to happen, though.
Yeah, and busking puts you out there.
Yeah.
It sticks you right in the middle of it and says, "Here I am, take it or leave it," and it's very freeing.
Yeah,
it's very, very freeing.
Definitely, it's awesome.
Despite being okay at what we do, we've found that people won't actually show up at our home and buy her paintings and pay me for gigs. So yeah, I guess we gotta do what everybody else does.
So do you do any gallery showings?
I have, and I'm looking for more. I sort of came here specifically to work in hibernation, but since I've been doing that, I know that I need to motivate myself more by going out there and being inspired by other people. So I'm looking for more galleries, but I've
websites.
I've done.
Oh, yeah, websites.
Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah, I have 3 websites under different domain names, so it's a little complicated, and I should just format it under one. But
when buying art, people like when you make it as difficult as possible to get your stuff.
Well, you can find my stuff on Instagram at KLarsonArt, and then you can go to klarson.carbonmade.com or KLA12 spelled out tumblr.com. So any of those complicated.
And that's Larson, Larsen.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
You want to play us another one?
Sure.
Cool.
Sure.
Awesome.
All right.
Throwing these mics around is interesting.
All right. It's another original song. I like doing a lot of covers while I'm out there. That's nice to draw people. My chest as my feet pound the pavement, and I'm off to the streets, out of the basement in the golden air city with the landmarks with those hills that hurt my legs on the way disembarking. Trolley car takes me down the bar, the subway running on whiskey and I float right out of town. Thickest days we make our way back home, back to Carolina now. This time I'm gone. Ghost sang this song, just another dead girl's lullaby. Just another dead girl's lullaby. Singing from the grave. 6 feet dead, lying in a casket. I try to, but I don't understand it. Last thing I see when I think of you and roll that dress at night, could have seen it through him. Trolley car takes me down the bar, the subway running on the whiskey and I float right out of town. Thickest days we make our way back home, back to Carolina now. This time I'm gone. Ghost sang this song, just another dead girl's lullaby. Just another dead girl's lullaby. Singing from the grave. Just another dead girl's lullaby. Singing from the grave.
That's awesome. What's that called?
Dead Girl's Lullaby. Sorry, I'm really basic with my song titles.
Easy to remember that way.
Yeah, I'm pretty basic in life, I suppose.
So, what other venues do you play? Do you have any favorites or regulars?
No,
or?
when I was coming down here, I was playing like a couple of the hotels, and I like that. It's like a nice little laid-back atmosphere. I've been doing the porch thing at the Southern for a couple weeks and weekends. It's been really nice. Those are awesome people out there. It's nice to get paid out around town. So just any evening I can go out and play, get a little bit of money, some food and drinks. If there's anybody listening, I do that. That's what I do. So say hello. Say hello, please.
Yeah. I mean, and folks don't realize how hard it really is to earn a living as a musician or an artist. It takes sincere dedication and sincere, motivation to push yourself and push yourself and push yourself, and I hear very often, I'll hear a tourist or somebody else, walking by somebody playing music on the street, and hear those get a job comments or something like that. And they don't realize that, okay, first off, if I quit doing what I'm doing to get a job, chances are I'm going to be making less money than I am now. Second off, this is more work than me quitting this and getting a job to begin with. So I don't know.
Nobody said that to me today, but had they would have been accurate in that I did need to get a job. So as of this morning,
Art
those
is a job.
people were, yes, they were correct.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, for me, busking is 100% of my income.
Really?
Straight up.
Huh. Now, see, that's what I was going to ask, is if you thought, you study music, it is hard to make an income, and it's hard to do that, but do you think it's especially hard here? Because I found, of all the places I've been, I mean, sure, there's a positive vibe as far as, we enjoy music and everybody does it and everybody likes it, but because everybody does that, I mean, everybody seems to collectively not want to pay anybody for it. You
kind of have to have... I want to say a phrase I can't say on the radio. You kind of have to have. You got to be showy. You got to make them look twice. Mm-hmm. And in cities where there seems to be a whole lot of buskers, that kind of tends to be the trend. Where there's so many that if you don't have something in particular that makes them look twice, then it takes a moment. No. So while you're coming out together, that's making them look twice.
I liked, and that's what I liked about what we did today, is I thought that drew the attention. Previously, I had thought it was just going to be like overwhelming handsomeness was going to do the trick, and it turns out I was drastically mistaken on both that awesome. And how handsome I was. So it was a double whammy. At least he plays guitar.
It's what you do with your body, not how you look.
That's right.
Exactly. I've been street performing as my full-time income for a decade now, and I really love it. And I've busked in full-time in other cities too, New Orleans, Nashville. But Asheville is my favorite one to be in, and I'm not traveling around anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm here. Y'all are stuck with me.
That's good.
It was funny. That was one of your questions. Was how long have you been here, and how long do you plan on being here?
Yep.
I feel like place to place, I never seem to know like an accurate answer to that.
Yeah.
Day to day.
A lot of folks they're just like, I don't know, maybe next year I'll come back through. People just kind of tend to ride along with the waves, or just along for the ride, or sure. Whatever. Yeah.
Transient population.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of that boxcar kind of thing you talked about earlier.
Yeah. And as far as bringing the traveling kids into the show, I feel like it's important to give a voice and a name to those folks. Mm-hmm. That way the locals and the business owners, instead of just seeing or heard a dirty kids playing some instruments, they have a name now, and they have a story and why they came here. And it's important to see both sides of the story and to understand and see the big picture, because otherwise we're just going to be digging through the same misunderstandings over and over again and being right in the same place talking about the exact same issues.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
I guess to me, street performing is extremely important. I mean, it's my lifestyle. It's what I do. I love teaching street performing, meaning I love teaching about like the different psychological aspects of it and telling people what I have learned and what's made it easier for me, And street performing is completely different than you can be a really, really excellent street performer and be a really, really bad musician. And you could be a really, really great musician and be a really, really terrible street performer. But where you could find the mix of both, then you're golden.
Mm-hmm. Need to ramp up the creativity. Well, do you juggle or anything?
I can throw things. That's probably not a good idea.
I could throw things.
Get you throwing paint like Pollock out there.
Just plastic wrap everything around.
That's right.
Including with people.
That's right.
I'm just kidding.
So do you ever play music with other folks?
I had a duo in Charlotte. And honest to God, like I just came down here to go to school. I kind of came down here to escape. I quit playing music for a while.
Oh, goodness.
I'm back into kind of like doing it again. I would love to play with anybody that liked anything they heard. If they're dependable, if they're good people, that's what I'd love to play with. So,
Well, you'll find coming out busking that, you know, a lot of bands are very, very receptive to, you know, we all kind of know each other and float around. Sometimes I'll show up and then the band just kind of forms as who happens to show up downtown.
yeah.
And, you know, it creates a really awesome learning experience for those wanting to learn music and learn different types of music and different ways to relate to other people playing music.
I think it's nice to know just that people would be, you know, trying to facilitate each other's success rather than like be jealous. Or that's nice that it's more of a community than a. I understand. I'm sure there's some competitive aspects, obviously, because it's getting paid. But
oh yeah,
it seems like for the most part, people are.
I attempt not to name names.
Yeah.
Those folks know who they are. But for the most part, yeah, everybody just chats with each other, and you know, we all kind of just take turns at spots, and so very often you see folks sitting in line after other people, you know, and so because of that, especially the 2-hour rule, you end up really getting to know other people because, you know, you get to sit through their set and listen to their music, and that's kind of nice, you know. While as other cities, you'd be walking by going, okay, that guy's playing there, and just keep going. You wouldn't be sitting there and listening and talking with somebody and talking to them.
I like to think on some level when I'm out there playing after I've had a horrid week, like they can tell through my voice at least that I've had a horrid week. And they're like, here's $1 for your horrid week. And I'll take it. I will take it, sir. Thank you.
You know, the truth is that people can read your body language, you know, and if you're having a bad day, I don't think they can tell. You know, the majority of folks, I think, are receptive enough. I feel like I can tell when somebody else is having a bad day myself. Mm-hmm. You know, your body posture changes, your attitude changes, your voice changes, the way you hold your instrument changes. Everything does.
Or you just break out in a chorus of that Daniel Powter song, Had a Bad Day Again.
Yeah.
Which, don't we all? Don't we all?
Yeah, I had a couple bad days last week, but I think it'll be all right. At least they're over with for this month, right?
Yeah.
I usually have a few a month.
The month just started.
You feel like you reached your quota?
Yeah, I reached it early.
I did too.
There we go.
There's like if I were to put the, you know, just kind of list it, it'd be just kind of like one of those. Oh, it'd be like a Debbie Downer kind of. Need some highlights. This is nice. I like being here. This is a highlight.
Yeah.
Here's for positive interactions.
Yeah, WPVM is really, really awesome to let us do this and to bring people in to just tell their stories and tell what they're about. I think it's awesome.
It is awesome.
And I know this might just be like a complex of mine, but you're not about to fire me, are you?
No, I won't fire you.
Okay, good.
And that's a good thing. You can't get fired from busking.
Okay, excellent.
You know, you can't. And although there are probably a handful of buskers that maybe some business owners might want to fire, the truth is that those folks and the folks that are out here learning aren't going to get any better unless they're out here learning. And there are some folks who are now playing, you know, within the bars and, you know, now playing, you know, gigs, whatever, and that learn to play their instrument on the street. You know, it gives a good venue for a free venue for folks to come out and do what they have to do to learn.
Sure.
And learn from other people. And watch other people and see the way that they can gather a crowd or work with people.
Well, about the crowd, like we thought maybe just go with the theme of firing and she paints and I could like self-immolate, but I don't know, we just went with me playing guitar instead. We thought it would be more appropriate for the downtown and like the kids and
I concur.
so, and gas is really expensive now too. So
Oh yeah, gas is really expensive now.
it's tough to.
Well,
Sorry to get so morbid. I apologize.
Do you paint with other folks? Like, do you collaborate on any kind of art projects?
As of late, no, but I am interested in doing that. I am, yeah, I'm always looking for painting friends. So, anyone out there wants to paint? Let's go.
Just bring your brushes.
Yeah, if you see me painting on the street, just come out, bring your easel, paint me, I'll paint you.
There is an Asheville Painters Collective. And get you that info.
That would be awesome, yes. 'Cause I am still relatively new, so any information about that, yeah.
Yeah.
We're looking for any ends we can get. Any ends we can get.
Well, the Buskers Collective meets, right now it's every Tuesday at New Mountain, 10 a.m. And right now we're talking about upcoming ordinance changes. And we're talking about incorporating finally for nonprofit. And that's what we're doing if you're interested at all in getting involved in the collective for busking.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
what we do. And you know that the whole point of the Buskers Collective pretty much is to keep things permit free, to keep things less restricted as possible, so that people can practice their art and come out without having to worry, and also to improve communication between buskers so that we can continue to do what we're doing without there being too much competitiveness to the point where it makes things negative.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So hopefully that continues. You want to play another one?
I was just putting it on for comfort purposes. I didn't want to interrupt, so.
Oh no! Why don't you play us another?
Okay.
What's this one?
Let me see. Jeez. This is old enough that I don't remember what it's called. So,
All right.
here's a song you can't even find, so it wouldn't matter what I was playing that today, though, and it felt good. It felt like something to.
Well, they
to
can
read
find
it.
it now.
That's true. Uh-oh. We're not just in this room talking. I was duped. All right.
Change, but I just stay the same, and it always turns out that way. Too far, too fast, too bored, too proud to work it all out. Leave the past behind. Well, I'm done. I'm out, but I know I'll come around sometime soon. Sometime soon. I try, but I choke to come away. There's something better than this I say. You should leave me alone. There's so much I don't know. Too far, too fast, too bored, too proud to work it all out. Leave the past behind. Well, I'm done. I'm out, but I know I'll come
Oh, yo.
So do you have a favorite street performer? You've been going out?
You know, I don't know people by name because I'm pretty antisocial by nature. But I always say that. Is it true? I don't think it's true. There's a guy.
No.
He used to put a carpet out, and he'd have that electric violin. You know what I'm talking about?
That's
And
Mark Hennessy.
he would kind of dance and stuff. It was
Yeah.
hypnotic. Very, very
Yeah,
good.
That's Mark Hennessy to all my dear friends.
He looked like he cleaned up.
Yeah, he does pretty well.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything out that maybe that isn't so great?
If I did, I would never say a word about it. All my Yelp reviews are like positive 4 and 5 Yelp reviews. When I did them, I don't care to do them anymore. But I never wrote negative. I always just, if it was nice, I enjoyed it.
Have you ever
nice
seen
to say.
anything completely awkward or strange?
I don't
Me.
think so. Yeah, I hang out with Chris a lot, so there's that.
I'm the most awkward person I know.
Not really. I guess I guess my experiences have honestly been kind of tame. Well, maybe something cool needs to happen. I'm not sure. Nothing terrible has happened to me. That's me knocking.
But you feel like you were well received today, and that you've been well received in Nashville since you've been living here musically. I mean, even on and off the street.
I think when I go out and try to get gigs, and when I put my heart into selling it and just talking to the right person, and a person who's not bothered just to have to kind of talk to me, somebody that maybe it's their job to do that and they enjoy it. I think it's easy sometimes from that point on once you've got the right people. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it being the season again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Season of giving.
Yeah. I think this summer is going to be pretty busy downtown. I really do.
More so
And
than last year.
I think so. The street scene's been in the news a lot, and I personally have already seen an increase in buskers. The school's just now let out, and so season is just now starting. Every single year, the buskers kind of thin out a little bit towards the end of the year. August, there's half as many as there was when spring hits. I'm not quite sure why that is. Maybe some people get a little bored of town. They want to go to a different town. Maybe some folks decide that they can't do it for a living and they want to get a job. I'm not sure. But as far as tourism is concerned, I think it's going to be pretty busy just because of all the advertising that's been placed out through the winter.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's going to be a lot more folks walking around looking at street performers when before maybe they wouldn't have.
Sure.
I heard they were building, 7 new hotels or something like that.
Yeah, it's getting pretty intense. It is still extremely difficult in Asheville for artists and folks like ourselves to find affordable housing and to live creatively and so on and so forth. So hopefully through this communication we can find some ways for our street artists to be funded in other ways. And that's I'm really hoping for that.
I hope for buskers to thrive as well.
It's extremely hard for folks, especially living here year round, because season ends at one point.
Yeah. Yep. Down to Florida.
I never
That's
bury
not
enough
nice.
acorns
Yeah.
ever.
I would say that's not that's probably across the board when you think. It's pretty common.
Yeah.
More acorns.
Yeah, and a lot of performers will go down to New Orleans and spend time in New Orleans, and some of them will even pay rent both here and New Orleans and do the swap. But New Orleans is a little too much for me.
That's a place
I'll
I've
just
never
be
been.
honest.
I would really enjoy going there. That's high atop my bucket list.
If you haven't been, go.
Mm.
You
Just
know,
experience
and my advice is, you know, no matter what anybody tells you about any city whatsoever, it doesn't matter what their experience is. Your experience could be completely different. If you haven't been there, go for it. You know?
Right.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
I didn't know what I was going to do today, so
Well,
I'm glad it ended up.
It's just all a series of just micro decisions, you know. It's all I'm
Yeah.
making all day. Do I get the iced coffee or the hot one? You know, does it matter? I don't know. I didn't have the hot one. I'm not sure.
well, I'm a hot coffee fan.
Makes me sweaty. I think my body regulates when I get sweaty. So I'm also single.
Oh, hey folks, we're gonna be posting some pictures.
I was recently dumped, so I'm a week single. So I was dumped a week before my birthday, and then I was fired 2 days after my birthday. So it has been an awesome week.
Well, happy birthday!
Thanks so
Welcome
much.
to the radio.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So I figured, given the events, it's kind of all uphill from here. So it could go way worse, But
Well, given your new situation, do you plan on coming out to try to busk more frequently than you have in the past?
yes, very much so.
Cool.
I have
Good.
an abundance of free time this week, so
Good.
I plan on stopping out here as often as possible.
Well, it'll be nice to see you out, and I'll make sure to stop and say hi, and I'll do everything I can to introduce you to the other performers that are around and make you feel as home as possible.
That would be great. I'd like to get some like-minded people together that would want to play some unique stuff and get out there and
It's really fun to watch a lot of the bands just suddenly form out of the random musicians that are just floating downtown looking for somewhere to fit.
sure.
And sometimes it immediately sounds amazing, and it just blows my mind.
Yeah.
I had some folks in here week before that they had just met and started busking. It was 3 of them, and they had just met and started busking together 2 hours before I put them on the radio, and it sounded so practiced, and it blows my mind, the talent that's out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it's so funny how those relationships work. You know, how they're no different than any other interactional relationship. That maybe it would be great on paper even, and then just like you don't like each other as people, and sometimes it comes together great though, and just all those factors. It's tough. Just one more thing to have to sort through, but
Personalities.
the payoff is immense sometimes. So
Personalities are interesting, and musicians and artists and buskers and all of them are all genuinely unique people. And thus, fitting folks into molds doesn't work. It just doesn't work,
Right.
Eventually you just kind of learn to go along for the ride and just let it happen, which is great because it creates this ever organic, changing mass of music just swallowing downtown, and it's beautiful and wonderful and awesome.
I look forward to being a catalyst for some of that.
Being part of the
Very much,
mass.
Without getting sucked into the black hole with all the crystals. That's we'll just avoid that.
The crystals? You're worried about crystals?
Isn't it's a thing here, right?
It is
Like
a
a
thing,
crystal
yeah.
phenomenon.
Vortex.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm always on the watch out for the crystal vortex. So.
We have time for one more tune. You want to do one more?
Yeah, I guess I could.
Okay. You don't have to.
No, it's
I
not
wanna
chore.
twist your
No, it's not a
arm.
chore here. I'm just in my head going like, okay, well, what's worthy of playing here? But
He needs to get some songs together from all the writing that he's doing, because he has been doing a lot more than he says.
Do you do singer-songwriter nights or open mics, stuff like that?
no, I did when I first came here. I was doing a lot of like the Bywater, and I enjoyed it. And then I don't know, I just kind of weaned myself from that stuff. Again, was trying to focus a little on school and a little on doing that stuff, and then just kind of lost interest and focus in some of the things that actually made me happy and were important. So, back to basics. That's where I go. Am I in the wrong position? Where am I?
You are fine.
It's bad that I would automatically assume I'm in the wrong position. Am I in the right position? Thank you.
Here
Cool.
we go.
Cool. All right. This is dedicated to people who unexpectedly dump you on your front porch.
Spring days and those nights in May only gave way. Winter and the cold and those blue eyes slowly fade to gray, like a picture in time. I wish I could see a ghost, perhaps, and I know that when I hit the dirt I'm not dead. And I wish I had a boat I'd sail a great unknown, forget these feelings I've had lately. Oh, lately. I'll let the pen speak your name, and this guitar will bear my soul. After all is said and done, there's so much I know. I wish I could see a ghost, a house, and I'll know that when I hit the dirt I'm not dead. And I wish I had a boat I'd sail the great unknown, get these feelings I've had lately. Oh, lately. Oh, lately.
Awesome. What's that called?
Ghost.
Ghost. When did you write that one?
That's I'd say better part of 5 years old, probably. Yeah. Find myself dipping back into the oldies when there's no. Is there a word for that? Newies? No, there's no newies.
Newies.
So it's all oldies.
Rocking in the charts
Yeah.
here.
Rocking all the newies.
Well, we're getting to the end of our hour. So, would you like to tell folks how to find you, how to get a hold of your music? Or, I mean, any
Sure.
of that?
I'll be playing at the Southern this Wednesday, 6 to 8. You can catch me there a lot, although there's not really a set schedule. But if you were to look my music up on Google, it is Roses in Amsterdam, ROSESINAMSTERDAM. My name is Brett Ramsey. You can find some of my music under that as well. That's about it. I think that's about it.
What about you? You want to recap it all?
Girl.
All right, you can check out my art on Instagram at klarsenart or klarsen.carbonmade.com. And or you can email me at KLA12, the word, at AOL.com. Yes, I still use AOL. All right, that's it.
I don't fault you. Don't worry. All right, folks. So, again, you're listening to Busker Broadcast. I'm Abby the Spoon Lady. You are listening to WPVM 103.7 FM in Asheville. You can listen to us online at WPVMFM.org. You can also find Busker Broadcast on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. We also have a Twitter account. Or you could find us through spoonladymusic.com or WPVMFM.org. If you're interested in becoming part of this broadcast, just shoot us a message any which way forward. I will find it. Come find me while I'm out busking. You'll hear the incessant clicking of spoons. Just say, hey, me, radio, wave at me. We'll figure it out.
I sent her a raven, and it was extremely effective.
Yes, it worked. It worked. It was great. So we're gonna take a break here before our next guest, and we're gonna listen to some Bus Break videos. Bus Break is brought to you by Steve Shanafelt, busbreak.com.